الآن معنا فرصة نأسس المجتمع حقنا الآن في المنطقة هذه. إذا نجح في المنطقة هذه هتنجح في مناطق ثانية. اليهود يتجمعوا لمناطق صح وانتم عارفين، وعليهم حراسة 24 ساعة، نشتي نفس الحراسة، بس معانا باب التجارة اللي فيه الضعف حقنا. لو واحد اعتدي على محلك، من أين تدخل فلوس؟ من أين تدفع الإيجار؟ من أين تصرف على أسرتك؟ فالمحل يعني أهم شيء. واليوم 3 حاجات هيحصلين. معنا الشرطة هيقدموا تدريب منهم، يقولوا لكم ايش تعملوا الحاجة الصح. وفي معاهم فرصة انه تدوا له رقم او عنوانك، يروح اوفيسر مديروز يروح يزورك للمحل حقك ويقول لك وين نقطة الضعف في المحل حقك. يقول لك الطاقة هذا تحتاج تسكرها، اعمل شبك للمكان هذا الباب يحتاج تسد الباب هذا، تحتاج باب جنب الباب هذا. هذا أول حاجة. ثاني حاجة، في معانا الفندم عبد ناصر المصمري موجود، ويتكلم في اللغة العربية وخبرته أكثر من 20 سنة بالشرطة، شرطة نيويورك، ويدلكم أكثر التدريب بالعربي. واستغلوا الفرصة، لأن أنا قرأت التدريب حقه الله يعطيكم اليوم مهم جدا. كم من شباب اللي يموتوا هذا الأيام صح؟ يدخل الواحد في معه مسدس مو يقفز يعمل يشتي يقع يعني وحش أسد. لا، هو يعطيكم التدريب. الحاجة الثالثة، في واحد من شركة ADT الألارم، اكتشفنا 7 من 8 المحلات اللي اعتدوا عليهن ما بش معهم ألارمز. فهمتم ليش اعتدوا عليهن؟ يدخلوا بالنهار يعينوا يقولوا ما فيش سنسورز، ويرجعوا بالليل لأنهم واثقين ما حد موقف لهم. هذا حاجة مهمة جدا. والشركة هذه ما تعطيش أكثر الأحيان تخفيضات، بس بعد ما كلمناهم قلنا لهم معنا يعني 8 دكاكين محلات اللي اعتدوا عليهن، 7 ما فيش معاهم ألارمز، وفي معانا محلات ما فيش معاهم ألارمز. تقدروا تساعدوهم؟ قالوا نساعدهم ونعطيهم تخفيض. إذا جاءهم يمنيين واتصلوا لنا نعرف أنهم زادهم من جمعية أياب، من مؤسسة أياب، يعطوهم ديسكاونت. طيب، أي واحد كم معاهم محلات؟ كم من أشخاص معاهم محلات دكاكين؟
كلهم مدكين.
أوكي، كلكم إن شاء الله مشتركين مع أياب، تدخلوا للموقع وتشتركوا مجانا. في معانا محامي حتى يجي للمحل حقكم ويزوركم، ومستعدين نرسل الشرطة لعندكم يزوروا المحل حقكم يساعدوكم. هذا خدمة مجانا، ومجانا ما شاء الله. الإدارة حقنا مننا 12 واحد في إدارة المؤسسة، يعني قائمين بخدمة مجانا، ما نحتاج من أحد شيء، لا من سياسي ولا من أحد. ف3 حاجات: التدريب من أوفيسر ميدوز، التدريب من الفندم عبد ناصر، وشركة ADT تكون موجودة هنا لأي واحد يشترك هياخذوا الكرت منه ويعطيكم تخفيض إن شاء الله. So just I welcomed everybody. Thank you for coming. Join our organization. Go to joinayab.org to join our organization. Most of you are business owners. We have 3 things that are going to happen tonight. We have crime prevention training by the 49th Precinct. Detective or Officer Maduros. We have Detective Jay in the back, very good friend of our community. Both of them, they always answer the phone. This is why I appreciate them. I'll text them at midnight. He'll answer the phone. Text him at 6 o'clock in the morning. He'll answer the phone. It doesn't matter. He always answers the phone. That's why I love him. So I want you to have the same relationship that I have with these officers. Also, we have the NCOs. Pat is there. Steve just walked out. I have a good relationship with them, and I want the businesses to have a good relationship with them. يعطوكم رقم التلفونات حقهم، الشرطة هذول العساكر اللي في الخلف يعطوكم رقم تلفون السيال تتصل به إذا في حاجة. تمام، هذا حاجة مهمة جدا. So I'll pass it over to you, Officer Maduros. This is for the Facebook Live video. If you don't mind just holding it. Just, it's a microphone.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's good. If I just put this on me?
Yeah, no.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, 2 of them actually. I'm gonna hook you up today.
Oh. Thank you. You sure that's not gonna like mess up your audio?
No, it's good.
Okay. All right. Got my little crib sheet here. Hello, everyone. I am Officer Maderos. I'm the Crime Prevention Officer of the 49th Precinct. I'm here to basically go over a few things that may interest you as business owners in terms of securing your business. I'm going to talk specifically about businesses, and hopefully you'll get away with something and you'll come away with more knowledge than you did before walking in today. A little bit about myself real quick though. I actually grew up in the confines of the 49 precinct. I grew up at Parkside Houses. I went to PS 96, it's on the north side of the precinct. And after growing up in this area, I became an officer. And I am now here serving the community that I grew up in. And I am happy to do so. I have been doing this now for 17 years in this precinct. And I am still honored to be here doing this for you all. And I'm honored here to be here tonight, basically invited to speak to you about this important issue. There's been a few burglaries, as you all know, and I'm going to go over some things that you can do in order to harden your businesses from burglaries and in some cases robberies. Because of the nature of what's going on in this particular community, I'm going to be concentrating more on burglaries than actual robberies, although a lot of the issues do overlap each other. Alrighty? The first thing I'm going to go over is alarm systems. A lot of businesses, small businesses in particular, don't like to get alarm systems. The reason being is because no one wants to pay for the upfront costs of alarm systems, and then definitely no one wants to pay for the monthly payments of alarm systems. Some businesses go ahead and actually get alarm systems. They'll have these alarm systems for a few months, a few years, and then they'll fall into the trap of feeling safe. Basically saying to themselves after a period of time, well, I have this alarm system, it has done nothing for me, I'm not going to pay for this anymore. Then they get hit later on. This is something that is common when it comes to businesses. They have to weigh the costs of security as compared to what profits they may make. I always go to businesses and I always implore them to get alarm systems. They do have many benefits, even if you don't see them. One of the benefits of alarm systems is in your insurance that you pay for your businesses. If you have an alarm system for your business, oftentimes your liability insurances or your insurances that cover you against theft will actually go down monthly because you have an alarm system on your business. Another thing that can help you is in liability issues. Basically, it can help you against being sued. I'll give you a quick example. Let's just say a business gets burglarized and actually, I'll change that, gets robbed. And employees are there. Employees are safe. They don't get hurt, and that's fine. Let's say a few weeks later, after the business owner deciding not to take any steps to protect their employees or business, the place gets robbed again. Only this time employees get hurt. At that point, any lawyer for your employees, if they choose to look for one, they can actually go back and say, listen, this has happened before, and the business owner did not do anything to protect us after the fact. You can actually get sued and held liable for not doing the appropriate steps of protecting your employees after the fact. So alarm systems are important for businesses. Some of the alarm companies that you may seek to look out for in order to get alarm systems installed into your premise, a lot of them, from my experience, have been businesses that are local, businesses that are not very big when it comes to being a presence in the security field. It's fine to go after these businesses and ask and basically have them install alarm systems for you, to install pieces of equipment for you in your business. but you should do your homework when it comes to these types of security companies. When it comes to the general number of the amount of security companies in this country, about 90% of the security companies here do not follow what's known as industry recognized standards and practices. This goes towards the way they install their equipment and what equipment they actually use for your business. The reason why this is important is because you want to make sure that what you're paying for will work when you need it to work. Sometimes these businesses will actually install their equipment incorrectly, whether that leads to that equipment not working at all for you, or whether it is that equipment is ineffective because of where it was placed. So you really want to be careful where is it that you want to shop for alarm systems. I recommend that whatever alarm company you use, it should be an alarm company that you know of, that you've heard of before, maybe something you've seen on TV. The reason why I would recommend this is because these companies, more likely than not, are going to be following the standardized business practices and standards for the security industry. So it'll help you protect your money. Some of the sensors that are popular for small businesses, there are only 3 of them. There are more sensors than that, but 3 of them for the most part are the ones that are widely used. The most common one, the cheapest one for the most part, is the motion sensor. Motion sensors basically do what they sound like. They detect motion. I'm not going to get into the science of it. It'll take too long. But when it comes to the placement of these sensors, it is very important that they're placed properly within the business. In general, what I recommend is motion sensors to overlap while inside of the business, and they should also be placed in specific places monitoring specific things. For the most part, you would want a motion sensor to monitor the very front of your storefront. Another thing you would want a motion sensor to watch are any walls that you are a neighbor to from another business. This is especially important when it comes to businesses that have expensive pieces of merchandise or just lots of merchandise that adds up to be very expensive. An example of that is jewelry stores. Jewelry stores. If you own a jewelry store, motion sensors should be going throughout your store, monitoring your walls, monitoring your ceilings. This is because people who burglarize jewelry stores, they will go through anything to get to your jewelry store. They'll go through walls, they'll go through adjacent businesses, they'll go through roofs, through ceilings, anything. So when it comes to businesses like that, you would want your entire business just flooded with motion sensors. Another type of business you would want to spend a little bit extra and monitor the walls of your business is in electronic stores. Some, specifically the ones that deal with cell phones. Cell phones right now is a hot commodity item. It is something that thieves, burglars, robbers are interested in stealing, and they want them all the time because there's always a market for it. And as you know, one of the most expensive phones, one of the most popular phones right now is the iPhone. That is, for the most part, the phone that's being stolen the most, even though it doesn't have anywhere near the market share that Samsung phones have. But it's always the iPhone user that's basically targeted. This is true also for businesses that deal with iPhones. If you have lots of iPhones in your business, people are going to look at you. They're going to want to make plans to go after your iPhones. So when it comes to that, it's important to have those types of motion sensors looking at the walls of your business. Other places you may want motion sensors are in your stock rooms, specifically stock rooms that are in basements. If you have almost like a cellar door that leads from the street into your basement, then goes into your business, you're going to want motion sensors looking at that entryway inside of your business so that if anyone were to break into those cellar doors, you'll be alerted. The next most popular sensor there is magnetic contact sensors. These are the type of sensors that detect physical motion when it comes to things being separated, specifically doors, windows. Windows may not be of your concern because most businesses do not have sliding windows. So for the most part, magnetic contact sensors will not be used for your type of business. But they are important for your doors, and they are important for windows if you have such windows. I recommend that those type of sensors be placed on any window that is sliding. That type of sensor should be placed on any front door and any exterior door that you have in your business. Some businesses don't necessarily have exterior doors, but they have a door that is basically maybe the rear or the side of their business that is the end of their business. Then beyond that is maybe a inside hallway that's shared with other businesses. That particular door, if that door is the last door that you control in your business, you should have a motion sensor on that door. Another sensor that I do my best to push is what's called a glass break detector. Many businesses actually don't have this sensor in their business. And personally, I think it's one of the more useful sensors you can actually have in your business, because most businesses, your storefront is made out of glass, whether it is your front door or whether it is the windows. A large portion of the front of businesses are glass. The glass break detector will detect the sound of breaking glass and will be set off by the sound of breaking glass before physical entry to your business is ever made. That is actually, in terms of that, it actually works better than motion sensors when it comes to protecting most storefronts. Ideally, you want to set up your alarm system in a way that it will detect entry before physical entry actually occurs. That way you have more time to react. That way the alarm company has more time to react to actually call 911 so that police can respond. Let's see. Yeah. If you get an alarm system, if you decide to get an alarm system and invest in it, if you don't already, though most businesses for the most part are pretty good with this, I highly recommend you pair that alarm system with a video surveillance system. Cameras. Cameras are a very powerful tool for businesses, but at the same time, cameras are not crime deterrents, especially not now where everyone's wearing masks. The most powerful use of cameras right now is in terms of liabilities. They will protect you and your business from being sued. This is the second time I'm bringing up liabilities, if anyone's paying attention. The reason why I'm harping on liability is because it is an important issue, specifically here in the Bronx. A lot of people don't realize this, but the #1 county for the highest number of tort law litigation is here in the Bronx. In other words, if you want to get sued, you come to the Bronx. So in order to help protect your business, protect yourself from getting sued, unwarranted, cameras are very powerful. You should put cameras in as many places, covering in as many areas of your business as you can. Some of the main areas that cameras should absolutely be looking at when it comes to your business is the inside of the front door, aiming towards the front door. That way you can capture everyone who's walking in and out of your front door. The next place you should be putting cameras is any other exterior entrance, so that in the event someone breaks in from some other place, you have that covered as well. Another place to keep cameras is actually on the outside of your business. Most people are on sidewalks, so both directions should be covered in front of your business. That to the left of your door and that to the right of your door. If you have a very large footprint on the front of your business, you may want to consider getting a center camera who's looking directly in front of the front door of your business so that you have everything covered basically for the front of your business. Another camera that most people do not put in their businesses that I highly recommend is a camera specifically designed to capture faces in your business. That can come in many forms. You can use the cameras that are existing in your already, in the systems that you already have. Just place them in a place that they can get people's faces. Typically somewhere that is around shoulder or a little bit lower than shoulder height. Those cameras could be anywhere. But typically I recommend two main places for this type of camera. That being one, your front counter, somewhere around your front counter. So that if anyone comes to the front counter, absolutely every one of your patrons will get a face shot for the camera. That camera does not have to be visible. Personally, I recommend that camera to be hidden. If you can hide it behind your own, the own stuff that you sell, maybe you can fashion a box to hide it behind that, or maybe you can get a piece of glass with a picture frame in it, a two-way mirror glass, and that way you can hide the camera behind that. If you want to get sophisticated, which I do recommend sophistication when it comes to the face camera type of cameras, is pinhole cameras that are basically installed into the door frame of your business. These cameras are hidden. Their holes are very, very small. Someone passing, coming and going in front of that door, they're not going to notice it. These cameras are very good at getting people's faces because no one is protecting their face from the door frame. In addition to that, there's another type of camera that actually comes with what's known as a tape measure. I don't know if you've seen them. It's not really in style anymore for businesses, but you can see them in some, where the inside of the door frame of the business has a color-coded sticker that's right on the door frame that has numbers on it, 6, 5, 4. That sticker actually has a security purpose. The purpose of that is to get the height of the people walking in and out of your business. If you just want to get that sticker, it's cheap. You can get it online somewhere. But if you want to get really creative when it comes to pairing that sticker with a pinhole camera, they sell that type of camera installed in that type of sticker. It comes in one unit, and you put it right on your door frame, and no one will ever know that that thing actually has a camera inside. What's nice about those particular type of camera setup is that they are typically designed at angles because it no longer has to be flush to the door frame. So it can actually be slightly aimed towards whatever direction that people are people leaving your business from. It makes it a little bit more useful. It makes it a little bit better for getting people's faces. I highly recommend those. If you are a business that deals in a lot of cash, you may want to think about getting cameras that are positioned directly above your registers. This is important to catch theft from your employees. It sounds a little silly. You may very well trust your employees. But believe it or not, if there's going to be theft in your business, especially when it comes to money, more likely than not, that theft is going to come from your employees. So it is always important to trust your employees, but use cameras to verify what they are doing. Alrighty? Another thing about cameras is their DVR setup, where you're putting them. A lot of businesses, they like to put the camera system that controls all your cameras, maybe behind the front counter. Maybe they'll be hanging on a shelf somewhere. Unfortunately, it's somewhere that's visible. You don't want that to be visible. You don't want anyone to know that that is in your business, where it is. You don't want people to know. So I typically recommend one or two ways to handling that. The first way to handle that is to put it in a secure cabinet. Basically a metal security cabinet specifically designed for electronics, because electronics have their own needs. Specifically, they need to breathe. So you don't want to put it in a locked box, it's just going to burn out. The next place, if you don't want to spend the money for a secured cabinet, or you feel you don't really need a secure cabinet, is to hide it. There might be businesses where you have a platform like this built into your business. Maybe you can have a carpenter cut a hole in that platform, make a little door, hide it in there. It's a simple, cheap, effective way to hide things that are important to your security, or just things that are worth a lot of money. What I got here? All right. The next thing that is important when it comes to your businesses, that is probably more important than a lot of people realize, is the lighting of your business. Light is extremely important when it comes to your business and even to the health of your business. And what I mean by that is that a well-lit business, specifically the front of the store, is going to attract more eyeballs and people passing by. And I don't mean those LED things that go around in patterns and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about lighting like this, standardized lighting. This type of thing will capture a lot of people's attention while they're going back and forth to your business. That attention obviously is good for any business. You want more attention, you want more eyeballs, you want the possibility of more customers. The next thing lighting does for your business is it keeps away unwanted people. I will give you a quick example. On Allerton Avenue, I got a complaint years ago about a corner store, a deli. They were having problems keeping their customers from coming back, and they saw that their customers were dwindling, and they were going to neighboring businesses because they had a lot of people hanging out in front of their business. Specifically, these particular people were actually selling drugs. And every once in a while, especially in the wintertime, they would actually go into their business and conduct their drug selling inside the business. I basically told them, if you want to get rid of them, get security lighting for the outside of your business. Light the place up. They got 3 floodlight elements for the outside of their business because they were a corner store, so they need a little bit more than most businesses would. All those people were gone within a day. Gone. And the reason why they were gone is because people who are planning to do bad things don't want to be seen. This is why lighting, especially for security, is very important. In terms of the health of your business, going back to customers, customers will more likely than not frequent businesses that they feel safe to enter. Lighting helps a lot with that. And with, once again, the amount of delis that are in certain areas and certain neighborhoods, lighting is a good way to distinguish yourself from all the other businesses, especially since in the winter months, it gets dark earlier and people are more likely to go to places that are well lit. So lighting can help your business in terms of security and in terms of bringing in more people to your business. If you are interested in getting lighting for your business, I do recommend that you consult with an electrician, specifically electricians that deal with lighting. You want this because you don't want to have lighting in front of your business that's unnecessary, but at the same time, you don't want lighting in front of your business that's just not enough. Better, if you're going to put lighting in front of your business, it's best to do it right the first time. Any lighting that's in front of the business should be able to light up the entire footprint of their store all the way to the sidewalk at least. Nice, clear, clean light. It shouldn't be soft light, like the type of light you would find in your house, that almost yellow tinge to it. You don't want any type of lights with tinges of color into it. So you want as close to daylight as possible when it comes to your lighting on the outside. If you already have lighting elements on the outside, whether near awnings, around awnings, if you have, most people have fluorescent light tubes on the front of their businesses, lighting up underneath their awnings. What you can do just yourself is actually switch that out for LED light tubes. That can actually change the type of light that's coming through that's being shown through your business. And it's cheaper in the long run when it comes to maintaining the electricity bill for that type of light. And they tend to be brighter. So there are a lot of benefits when it comes to getting lighting on the outside of your business and to changing that lighting, if you happen to have fluorescent light tubes, to LEDs. On the inside of your business is just as important. People like lit places like this. It is important to have LED light bulbs inside of your business as well. If you have fluorescent light tubes, change them to LEDs as much as you can. Look for LED light tubes that don't need to, that can run with the ballasts that already exist in your fluorescent light tube fixtures. That way you could save some money, you don't have to change the entire thing. Doing this, especially if you have larger businesses, can save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars at the end of the year in terms of your lighting energy costs. I had that for a bike shop that's on Westchester Square. I tell them change to LED. They were a two-story business. They changed all their lights to LED. He told me he saved $1,500 in 6 months. So it could be a lot of money that you could save switching to LED, and it helps with security. It helps with your customers. Another reason why these types of lighting is also important is because it pairs very well with your video surveillance systems. The brighter the location, the better your cameras will work. This is also important for the outside of your business. A lot of cameras, they have the ability to see in the dark. They, I forget what they call it, but basically night vision cameras. The problem with night vision cameras is that they lose a lot of the detail when they switch to night vision mode. And then they turn green when you're looking at it, or they'll turn white and black when you're looking at it. It loses a lot of detail, and you end up losing a lot of the information when it comes to people's faces and what things are occurring around your business when that happens. When you have proper lighting in the front of your business, your cameras will be able to see everything in HD as it should, even at nighttime if you have it properly set up. That will only help you out more when it comes to when it comes to helping out police, and also when it comes to helping out any possible liability issues that you may have going out in your business. The next thing I would like to go through is security gates. A lot of businesses have security gates. The roll-down gates, those are very good to have, but you also have to keep in mind that laws have changed in the past few years when it comes to these security gates. A lot of businesses, they have the full security gate where you can't see through the thing. In a year or two, it's going to be mandated here in New York City that up to 70% of the surface area of your security gate has to be see-through. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a security gate now and you're looking into getting one, you're going to make it see-through for the most part. This has one major benefit for you. And the major benefit is that at night when no one's in your business, people could still see through the window, see what's going on inside of your business. It's especially important if you have an alarm system inside, because if the alarm goes off, police respond. We get to your business, and people are inside, they're stealing your stuff. but we see a solid gate. What can we do? We can't see anything. It doesn't help us. And we end up leaving. We'll come back in the morning when you call us again because you got robbed, burglarized. So look into these types of gates now. If you already have this type of gate installed on your business, you don't necessarily have to get a new gate. You can have a contractor or even maybe the person who made your gate come back out, put holes in the thing. And it might take a little time, but they can put in many holes as they need so that your windows can be seen from the outside and still be secure. The next thing about security gates is the type of locks you use for the security gates. It's important to use high quality locks that can't be cut, or at least not cut easily. What I particularly recommend are locks that have shrouded shackles, or the shackle is completely covered. There's only two types of locks that are like that. One you may already see, you may already have, are those hockey puck looking things. Those things are highly secure because they can't be cut into very easily. Not easily at all. The next one would be the standard padlock, which most people typically have with their gates. A shrouded padlock is basically one that has the shackle, that U-bolt, but on the sides of the U-bolt, it's covered with steel so that basically you can't cut through it easily. Not to say that it can't be cut through, but it's going to take about a half hour with a tool about this big to actually cut through it. Burglars don't have that. They're not spending $2,000 on a tool that's going to take them a half hour to get into your business with. These types of locks can be expensive, but you also have to keep in mind that you have to weigh that expense over what you're trying to protect inside. So, is it worth spending $150 on a big padlock that's going to take a half hour for police to get into? Or something that could be cut with standard tools you can buy at the Home Depot for $50. Go through your lock in maybe 2 minutes, and then behind in your business, maybe you left all your money in there for the day, or maybe you have a cell phone store and they just take everything and now you're out thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's important to weigh these types of cost to benefit when it comes to security and to keep that in mind. The next thing, which leads from security gates, is actually doors, your locks, and your windows. Most businesses, they have aluminum frame doors with a big piece of glass on it. Those types of doors are not very secure. The reason being is because not that the frame is weak, it's because the glass in the middle of that frame tends to be weak. You may hear from your vendors, from these types of doors, especially when the ones that supply the glass, that these particular types of glass are impact rated. Excuse me. That they are tested to withstand a certain amount of pressure and a certain amount of force to those windows, to the door specifically, to the window on the door, and that it's a security measure. It's going to protect your business. 9 times out of 10, these types of glass, impact-rated glass, they are rated for bumps. They are rated for accidental concussions and hits. They're not rated for someone to take a brick and just toss it right through. They're not rated for that. They're probably not going to protect against that. The same thing when it comes to the side windows, the storefront windows of your business. More than likely, if someone takes a rock or brick through that window, it's going to shatter to pieces. And I'm sure you're all aware, if you had to replace one of these things before, these glass panes are very expensive to replace. I recommend that you spend a little bit extra money and invest in true impact-rated windows. Specifically, they are called laminated safety glass. not tempered glass. Most windows for businesses and the front door, they're tempered. This basically is the same window that you will find on the sides of your cars. They're strong enough for most knocking and stuff, but if you hit it in the right place, it's going to shatter to little bitty pieces. You don't really want that to protect your business. This is especially true if you happen to have a business that does not have a security gate and you've opted for a business storefront that is mostly glass, which some places do. It's a very nice look. It's a very sophisticated look. It's going to get eyeballs to your business. It's going to attract business because it looks so good on your business. The problem is that if you have a pane of glass that's long enough, I don't even need a rock to get through that thing. A well-placed kick, if I know where to place it, is just going to shatter the whole thing, and I'm just going to walk right in. It's important to get laminated safety glass for your business. If you don't know what laminated safety glass is, I assure you, you've seen it. You've seen it probably every day. You see it staring at you when you're driving your cars. Your front windshield is laminated safety glass. Despite what you may see in the movies and on TV, that glass, even if it breaks, even if it shatters, you're not going through it. If you've ever seen a real-life car accident, if you've ever seen the front windshield broken on one of these car accidents, you'll see that that whole windshield piece of glass, that whole thing is still on the car. There might be a big hole in it or a big shatter, a big spider web in the middle of that hole, but the hole is not going to be very big either. And you're certainly not going to be able to put a whole person through that hole. That is the power of laminated safety glass. The amount of time and effort and tools that is necessary to actually put a human being through that type of glass would take too long to actually to be worth the wait, to be worth the problem. And they're just going to move on to another business. Let's see. When it comes to locks, for the most part, I've never really had a problem for most locks, for most businesses, because a lot of them are standardized when it comes to aluminum frame doors. So just please actually have a lock on that door, because some businesses get, they get complacent because they have a security gate. They don't bother having a lock on the actual door. You should have a lock on the door. And let's see. The next thing is on Windows. If you have Windows already on your business, you probably do, and you don't want to spend the money to replace that, to replace the entire Windows system with with laminated safety glass, you can invest in what's known as security film. Security film is basically a piece of plastic like tint on your window, on the car windows, that goes over your glass. This actually adds a layer of security by keeping your glass together if it actually breaks. It makes it harder for people to actually get into your business, though it's not going to be as good as laminated safety glass. All right. The next thing I will cover, since we're running out of time, is ATMs and electronic devices. If you have an ATM in your business, you really should protect that ATM. Make sure it's bolted to the floor. Make sure that the wires to that ATM are protected. You really don't want them exposed. The reason why you don't want them exposed is you don't want anyone to walk into your business and attach weird stuff to your ATMs so that they could steal the information of cardholders using that ATM. So what I typically tell people to do is put your ATMs along walls, or even at the storefronts, which most people already do. Try to avoid putting ATMs in the middle of your business, where you actually have to have, where the wires are exposed and you can see them running to the ceiling. You want to try and avoid that. If you can't avoid that, then protect the wires. Put them in PVC pipe. Put them in galvanized metal pipe. You can protect them that way. It's a cheap, effective way to do it if you have to put wires in the middle of your business that way. The next thing I'm going to go over is protecting your inventory. If you have This doesn't really apply to most businesses, but it does apply to electronic stores. If you have lots of electronics, don't try to avoid putting those electronics and leaving them in the display cases overnight, especially if they're real. The problem with the display cases is that they're just that, they're display cases, they're not made for security. If someone were to break into your place, they're going to easily have access to most of your stock because most people like to put them into display cases. If you, once again, if you have a business that has one of these platforms, you can always try and cut a hole in one of this. At the end of the day, put them in there. That's a cheap way to protect your stuff. And then when the beginning of the day, bring them back out. Another thing you could do, if you can, which I recommend more than simply hiding it, is having a safe or a heavy secured lock cabinet to put your cell phones in. That basically just to protect your inventory, to protect your money. It's important to have these things. One quick note when it comes to these types of security devices, anything that you rely on security for, whether it be the alarm systems themselves, whether it be the video cameras, or even combinations to locks, things of that nature. If you have employees and you fire them, or they leave the business, you should change the passwords to these things, change the codes, have the stuff rekeyed if you can. The reason why is because every once in a while you will find that that employee will actually tell their information to a friend who will just use that information to steal your stuff later. Or just the employee, maybe you left on bad terms and is now seeking revenge, and that employee now knows how your business works and when the best time to strike, best place to strike, best way to get in. So you want to really protect yourself for that. Change your codes, change your passwords, things of that nature. There is a lot to security. A lot more than I could possibly tell you right now in this amount of time, because I don't want to keep you here for a week, because I could keep you here for a week if I wanted to. Instead of that, I'm going to tell you that I studied this stuff. I am certified in physical security, and I have the ability to go to businesses, and I can look at your doors, your locks, your windows, your cameras if you already have it, or if you don't, your alarm systems if you have it, or you don't. And I can tell you what you need to better secure your place, to better protect your property, protect your money, protect your employees, and to protect yourselves. The service that I provide is a service that is extended throughout the NYPD. It's from every precinct, from every crime, well, maybe not every anymore, but for most crime prevention officers in the city, we're trained to do this. And we do it for free. So if you're interested in having a security survey done for your business, you can reach out to your respective precincts and get hold of the crime prevention officer and schedule something with them. And they will come out, they will inspect your place, and they will write a report for you. It's going to be in paper so that at the end of it, you'll have it and you'll be able to refer to it at any time. And what's nice about this is that it will show you the deficiencies of your business, not the stuff that I've been necessarily saying right now, because it might not even apply to you. So for this precinct, I am the crime prevention officer. I have my cards on that round table over there near the front door. If you have a business that's here in the 4-9 precinct, I can schedule something with you if you wish, and I can go over your business with you. And I could show you what your deficiencies are. I could show you if you have any code violations in your business, specifically with fire code violations. And I could tell you what they are. I'm not going to give you a ticket for it because it defeats the purpose. You never trust me. So I will show you these things. I will tell you what you need to know. I will show you what you need to get. And then at that point, it's up to you what you want to do. You can take my report. You could do nothing in the report. You could do some of the things in the report. You could do it little by little. You could take the report, you could light it on fire, you could throw it in the trash. You could do what you want with it. But it's yours, and specifically for your use and for your business. All righty? So thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Any questions?
Oh, questions, yes.
Any questions? Steve and Pat, come up. I just want to introduce you to everybody else. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Okay, if it's different in the 49 precinct, like the business not in here, it's in different area, like 43 precinct, 44 precinct. Did we have to go to them to ask them?
You'd have to go to them. Yeah. I don't know how it is in other precincts. I have my own line in my precinct. Other precincts, a phone line, I mean. Other crime prevention officers might not have their own office. They might not have their own phone. So it might be a little difficult to find them. If that's really the case, then you can try and contact your local neighborhood coordination officers. They're going to know who your crime prevention officer is for that precinct. They're probably going to have their contact information, and they'll be more than likely they will give it to you, and you'll be able to contact them directly at that point. Yeah?
The law, when you say if the law run on and the police pass by and the gate is down, like the thief they inside,
Yeah.
they put the gate down. What make the police not to go and check if the store is okay, they're not inside? If they're not allowed to do that, or?
That was a rough example. The problem with alarms is that upwards of 90% of the alarms that we get in 911 are faulty or tripped by accident. That's why alarms by themselves are not a very high priority for us, with the exception of on the early morning hours, like 12 midnight and on, then it's a priority for us. But the problem is that some businesses are not, they're shared spaces with other businesses next to them. So the only access we have most of the time is just the front of your business. We're not allowed to break into your business to see if someone broke into your business. That's why it's important to if you have security gates, to have some type of porthole in it so that someone can see through it if we need to. Ready?
With the crime prevention, every precinct lists the crime prevention officer online now. So you just search, you said 43? Yeah, so you just go to 43 precinct NYPD on Google, and it lists your precinct, community affairs, crime prevention. It gives the phone number to the office and the email.
Nice, there you go.
Yeah, so it lists everything on every precinct now.
I just want to touch on something Officer Madero said about cameras. Especially the new high-def cameras, they take up a lot of storage space. So if you can, at least 2 weeks of storage, if not up to a month. Because even if you find something later on that happened, if it's 2.5, 3 weeks, and we go out and it's not there, we can't view it. We won't be able to see it. So invest in a larger hard drive, or even if it's external, have that space.
To touch on that real quick, the industry standard is 30 days for cameras. You really want them to last 30 days.
That'd be nice.
Anyone else?
There's a reason I had them come up here. For anyone that lives in this area or works in this area, we have NCOs. So each precinct, you can go to the 43rd precinct, go in. I want to speak to the NCOs. This is what they were created for, their division. And honestly, they pick the best to be the NCOs. Because our relationship with Steve and Pat, from like almost 3 years now, during Ramadan, they're always here. Any issues that we have, they always follow up. It's always great to have them. Jay, come up, Jay. I want to introduce you too. I know you're shy. But this is, I want to stress it to everybody here. The relationship. You own a business on Morris Park Avenue. Do you have a relationship with Pat and Steve? That's a problem. Are you going to call the crime prevention officer and have him come visit your business? Okay, good. Jay, you'll always see him at every single meeting. So, again, it's very important. Ibrahim, you own a business on White Plains Road and Morris Park Avenue, 2 businesses in our area. Do you know Steve and Pat? You've seen them, but you don't know them. You should have their cell phone numbers with you. It's very, very important for anyone that has a business in this area. So they're going to be here. Just when they sit down, ask them for their card, ask them for their phone number. It's extremely important. Ahmed Attarek, He's the vice president of AYAB. He owns a couple of businesses here. Do you have their information?
Yes, I've contacted them a few times.
Good. See, that's what I want to hear, that, you know, that they have their contact information. So it's very important to have that. So also, Himyat just came in. Very late. He owns a couple of businesses in the area too. He told me he has security alarms, which is great. But I also, you know the NCOs, do you know them? The Pat and Steve? I want you to get to know them. This is why we have them here. You know, Abu Ahmad knows them from the masjid. Adil knows them from the air.
Question.
Go ahead.
One time I happened to my store, the alarm system went off. The police take like 30, 40 minutes to come.
What was it, late at night?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, good point that you brought it up. Okay, we had a few issues in the area, right? So when I called Jay a couple of weeks ago and I said, listen, people don't feel safe. He said, we will have patrols in the area. You know what? He's right. And I've had witnesses. I have the guy from the barber shop. He said he had some issues with his lighting. He was working until 3 o'clock in the morning to fix his lights. The police came to them and says, is everything okay? Why are you still open? They do walk by the stores to make sure the locks, you didn't forget to lock your door. And someone told me, you told me that they were out there for 3 hours on White Plains Road with the lights on for 3 hours in the morning, between 3 and 6 a.m. with their lights on, because they know this area is a target. It's not if they're going to attack again, it's when will they attack again. And our request, the community's request is that we continue having the patrol. You know, we might go a month, maybe, hopefully, with no attacks. But we want the patrol to continue for as much as possible so everybody feels safe. I'm putting the pressure on them to get alarms. How many members will get alarms today? I need you to get alarms. He owns the 99-cent store. The owner of this hall is looking to update his security system as well. So you have to talk to him because he's gotten a couple of quotes, and I promised him that you'll talk to him. We have the ADT representative here. I'm going to give him an opportunity to say a couple of words just so you see him. He's going to give out his cards. And any other questions for the police department?
The alarm system is for the house and the business, or you also only for the business today?
Both, house and business. It's very important you get an alarm for your house as well. It feels good for me. Sometimes I leave the house for 2 days. I come back, I know I set that alarm. I know no one has entered my house. It feels good to not get a text message or an alarm. You know, so I know my house is safe. And go ahead, Miguel from right now.
Well, it's a suggestion. I manage a business next door that goes all the way to the back to Amethyst. We got hit twice by the same person. We hit our yard like about 3 years ago. He hit us like about a month ago. But within that month, he hit 2 other businesses, and he hit like a time of like about 7 times on the same, on the same time rate. How is that possible? That back to back, this guy keeps coming back to the same area, and nothing's going on. I mean, I got hit. 2 of my colleagues got hit.
Yeah,
the same week.
we know there's 3 or 4 spots right around the corner. Let me ask you have an alarm system?
I do.
Did it go off?
Now, you know what? I held myself responsible for getting hit and not being able to respond on time because we was having a faulty door that wasn't able to let us put the system.
Not that it would have prevented it?
Would have prevented it.
Yeah, but you did have cameras. We did see your camera footage, which was pretty good. And it is a wanted. Yeah, we were familiar with that and behind on Amethyst. We know it's a darker area. We reached out to, was it DOT and Transit to try and put lights on. I know you guys are building the mosque there, which should brighten up the area as well.
What's your address? 1909, right?
1909.
Yeah, White Plains.
So a couple days ago you had an alarm, right?
I did.
And you know the response time was less than a minute? Because of that alarm?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. On Sunday,
I
right?
did get the message,
Yeah.
and one of my friends here was, took a look at the
Because
area.
we know what's going on, so we flew. We got here in 1 minute. Nothing was going on.
That's
So
great.
What time was that?
this was in the afternoon, actually.
Oh, wow.
Around 9 or 10?
Yeah, around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, it was a little later.
Besides that, I
Yeah,
have
no,
a yard that I have next door. the thief have actually been jumping the gate and going into the cars, you know, next door, which I haven't reported. But it's something that is going on. It's constant. I mean, if you have somebody on patrol.
Yeah, we've actually been sitting, especially with all the burglaries. And like we've been White Plains and Morris. We've actually been right in front of your shop on White Plains. We handle Sagamore and Virtual, Amethyst and Amethyst and Amethyst and Sagamore. So we hit all around here, especially because you said those 3 stores have got hit, and it wasn't just with all the keys and everything. So it's a big, you know, they can come back. So we know it's a big targeted area. And we talked to the other, the guy Amethyst, because he had a few times. He recovered a few cars that were taken. He had cameras as well. I'm not sure. I don't know if he had an alarm or not.
I don't think so.
Because they just got in through a door.
Yes.
Yeah, literally took the keys with them. I mean,
you got that fixed, and your response time was less than a minute.
Yeah, no, thank
So
you.
it's important to have this alarm
much
like
for your service, you know. I did my part, you know. I
of course.
I bought lots, I reinforced the doors. You know, I did everything that was said. My cameras worked.
Yep.
We got the footage.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I mean, let's just hope we can get this guy and feel safe once again.
A nice thing some of the other businesses did, they take the car keys home with them. I mean, you might not want to. They had a secure box, and they take it home with them, but maybe you get a safety box, like a safe or something, a bigger safe, and you can put all the keys in there.
Yeah, no,
Because he just had them on the
I did something about that.
yeah, which is good.
Yes, I mean, being that you are the officer of the patrol around the neighborhood, there's a lot right next to me. And that's, he constantly jumping the gate and going in there.
Yeah.
He's constantly doing it. You know, I gotta take your number down.
Is it just a yard?
It's a yard that I rent for the guys next door.
Some other business
across
has
the
a cell
street?
phone. No, it's on the same side.
Oh, I'm like,
Just by myself. So
Next door.
Megatron.
Yeah, Megatron.
oh, you got the few cars in the front there.
You know where?
Yeah, so right here, that's the shop. Next
Yeah.
door to the shop,
Yeah.
there's like a gate that you,
Yes.
it's like you marking out that gets
Yep.
locked at night.
Yeah.
We'll give you our
So
card.
most, a lot of nights I just put cars in there.
Yeah.
And the guy, you know, constantly gets opened up the cars. You know. The reason why I don't call the cops is because there's no damage to the car, there's nothing stolen from it. To make sure that, you know, we leave everything clean.
You know if that lot has cameras at all?
I don't think it does.
That cell phone place next to your shop actually did a security survey for them years back. One of the things that I recommended for them was to light up the front of their business because they have a pretty large area in front of their business from the front door. Do you happen to know if they put lighting in front of there? No. Yeah.
No.
Oh,
We're going to
question.
follow up with the lights on Amethyst with DOT.
Yes, I don't
Brighten it
know,
up
I
a little
get
bit.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Why right now the relation between us and the customers? Before, when we used to, if they trying to do anything, harm us or stealing or do anything, and if we told them we're gonna call the cops, you know, they scared and they beg us not to do it. But right now, if we say we're gonna call the cops, they making it worse. They will break in some stuff and throwing some, you know, and cursing us out and even curse you out. Like, call the cops. I don't care. What is the reason? Why is now like that? It's not like before.
A lack of general respect right now. The past few years, some officers throughout the country have done some pretty questionable stuff. So now, because of what they did, we're all basically feeling the effects of that.
And we too, like 2 million of business.
And then that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize, that eventually filters down, because if there's no rules, if there's no respect for people who enforce the law, then how could you respect someone who is in a lesser position or a position not of authority? It eventually becomes a problem.
One thing I don't think you touched on though, catacombs, right? Yeah. So like if you're being robbed, right? I mean, you can touch on it a little more.
Actually, forgot about that. there's stuff called panic buttons, panic alarms. If you get an alarm system, you can have that added to your system. There's different types. There's one that is stationary. That's basically literally just a button. And you may have it in the front counter. If you feel, if you or your company or your employee feel is endangered, they can reach around, press the button. It sets off the alarm immediately.
Oh, thank you for that. That's the important thing.
Yeah. That type of alarm is actually different from the types of alarm that we normally get because it'll tell us that it'll come over our division as a panic button or panic alarm.
I have one in my store. I press it and take like 30 minutes to take off.
It depends on the precinct.
And they came and said they already came to why came. I just want to try it. You know, it's working or not.
The other type of panic button is basically the remotes. They're becoming popular lately because instead of just keying in a code, you can just press a button like a car door on off. On those remotes that panic on it as well, so you can set it off from anywhere in your business. You can get those types of mobile remote panic buttons for you as well.
Oh, this one is good.
All right, so
All of us, yeah.
thank you to the NYPD. Really, they came up in support of the community when in need. They do it time and time again. We had some really good questions for them from Abu Ahmed, Abu Ahmad, and Miguel. Thank you for being part of the community. I know you're one of us, whether you like it or not. He's a very good community guy. I actually love dealing with this guy. Very good guy. So, thank you very much once again. I just want to give a quick shout out to Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez. When she heard what's going on, she called and she said, let's do a town hall. Let's work together. Let's see how we can help the businesses. And we have a representative here, Clifford. She's always here for Little Yemen. Text her anytime. She responds right away. We also have COVID vaccine and testing that we set up for next Tuesday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. here at Oasis. And I want to give a big shout out to Shoki. He offers his halls to the community, his restaurant to the community anytime. Very good guy, and we're grateful to have him. Just wanted to give those two quick shout outs. And he has his cards here. Go ahead, Clifford.
Just quick thing, just while I'm here. So tomorrow, starting at 3 o'clock on White Plains Runlander, we're giving out the home test kits. We have about like 100, 130, and then we have K95 masks. So if any of you wants to stop by, just come at 3. There's going to probably be a line with home test kits. It's 1 box per, but 2 tests come in a pack. And then the 4 kits that are supposed to be coming into the USPS, you just have to order it. COVIDtest.gov, that's free from the federal government. Again, I'm going to leave my cards, I guess, with Yahe. And if you need it, you can just ask him. Again, we're going to coordinate that town hall. And this is where then you can voice some policies, some agendas, what's going on in your end. Again, I know you spoke to the NYPD. First of all, thank you for coming out and your continued service for everyone here. But on the state end, on the legislative end, if you want to come in and let us know what you want us to hear, we want to understand your perspectives and what's going on every day in this community. Because again, we're all part of it, right? So that's something I'll coordinate with Yahe on a date, and then we'll get a flyer out, let everyone know. I do have to head out, unfortunately, but again, thank you all for coming. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the ADT representative, you want to just so people see your face, so they know who to ask the card for. So just tell them your name and.
Okay, how's it going, guys? My name is Harold Pomas, and I'm the representative for ADT Security Services. I cover pretty much the whole entire Bronx. Anything having to do with security systems, cameras, alarm systems, panic buttons, we can help you out and also give you also a good rating that you're a member of the organization. Okay, I'll be right here by the side. And you can pass by and I'll give you my cards. If you guys have any questions, I can give you a quick answer.
The cost, how much is the cost?
We got different everything. Since every business is different, the pricing will be tailored to your business. So, you know,
How they pay, like monthly or yearly?
there is a monthly charge as well.
They got a package for a year, a package for a month?
It's usually, the contracts are usually 36 months. Okay? Yeah. I'll be right here.
This come from AYAB.
Of course. Being that I'm here, I could take good care of you guys. All right. I just finished helping out a few people around the area as well. So I could definitely help you guys out. Of course I do. There you go. Harold Comas. Oh. Thanks a lot.
We have one more presentation, very important.
Where's your shop? I used to serve as Queens myself. I used to be in the
Jamaica, something. I got a page. I'm gonna run your card.
I can help you. Like I used to install over there, now I'm at the Bronx. I'm the area manager.
I'm gonna send it to everywhere. We need that. Like they said, the bottom one, the one you just press.
Especially, like if you're in a store, especially if you're opening a panic button,
We need that.
because you're always gonna have people that. You're gonna have people that don't care if you have an alarm. You're gonna have people that don't care if you have an alarm. Speak. One time, speak.
Say
10 more minutes. نحتاج من وقت 10
Should I take this off or leave it on?
If you're going to take it off, I'll put on your
Yes or no? Yes or no?
It's up to you.
No, it's okay. Does he have the PowerPoint? I'm not gonna go through the whole thing.
We need it.
The whole thing is gonna be too long. The PowerPoint? Yeah. What did you do? Good? خليهم يجوزوا الحياة يا ابو احمد ها. السلام عليكم. لو تكرم توجسوا دقيقة. بس بكلمتين. Have a seat, everybody, kindly. We're almost done with the presentation. First of all, thank you for your attendance. Salam alaikum. Thanks to the NYPD for coming out. I just want to thank them and ADT system. أمشي السلام عليكم. وإن شاء الله كل واحد صحة وعافية. أول نشكر يعني المنظمة يعني أياب يعني في المعلومات المهمة هذه في أصحاب المحلات والتجارة. ما بعرف ليش المعلومات لزملائي من الشرطة جابوه. أنا جهزت لها برزنتيشن معلومات يعني لجالتنا خاص بالتصرف كيف في المحلات. احنا عارفين في الوقت الحاضر المشاكل استادين ولازم ناخذ حذرنا. الآن شفتوا وقد جاهز وقد أحمد وقد حتى الشرطة نجلسهم وقد سمعوا الكلام.
ايوه
أو كيف يا شيخ؟
ما نسمع لك كلام. هذا كلام.
فعام الشرطة الآن كانوا موجودين قدامكم. زي ما قلت لكم شكرا لمنظمة أياب والإدارة تبعها يعني بالمعلومات الهامة هذه طلبونا نقوم بها. يعني المعلومات خيرات يعني زيادة بس نويش ونختصرهن يعني نقطبهن ما بنعمل شيء كلنا هذا. أهم حاجة إن أنتوا تكونوا تشتغلوا مع بعض. عام الشرطة كانوا موجودين قدامكم هم أنفسهم مضغوطين. أبو حمد ادى سؤال مهم جدا فلا تركنوش على هذا الشيء. هم بنفسهم من يوم يعني الإدارة هذه السابقة حق دي بلازيو دمرت ولاية نيويورك تمام. أنا دي ما يعرف فيها اسمي عبد الناصر المسمري والرجال الطيبين يعني معروفين. يعني أول ضابط يمني في شرطة نيويورك من أكثر من 18 سنة. الآن ما شاء الله أكثر من 60 شخص يعني شباب يمنيين يعني في الشرطة وبرضه يعني ناس طيارين ناس وظائف يعني يشرف الإنسان بهذا الشيء. والتجارة هي أكبر الشرف. أنا ما أنا شيء إمام ولا أنا يعني قاضي في الدين ولكن ما بش أحسن من التجارة مذكور في القرآن الكريم.
أنتم إذا ما انتبهتوا على أنفسكم بينكم البين، كل واحد يبلغ الثاني حصل في دكان فلان كذا كذا، هجوم في دكان كذا كذا، فاحنا خسرانين. لا تركنوش على أي حاجة. تمام؟ المحلات الإضاءة لازم تكون موجودة زي ما تحاكوا الجماعة. ايش الإضاءات؟ اللمبات، ان المحل يكون يعني يستغل الانسان من داخل ومن برا. تمام؟ الحاجة المهمة الثانية انه ايش؟ ان الزجاج حق المحل اجل الصورة حق الساندويتش، معروف انك دلي، انك ما تبيع دلي، ما تبيع ساندويتش، شيلوا الصور، خلوا الناس يشوفوا للشارع. لانه يعني حصلت مشاكل يعني في مارسن افنيو، يعني فترة من الفترات يمكن 4 أو 5 سنين، ناس بيحجزوا محل ساعات رولكس وكذا وكذا ويسمع. تمام؟ المجرمين داخل بيسرقوا الساعات وكذلك وكذلك، والعسكر ماشيين في الطريق كأنه ولا بحاجة، ما تلومش العسكري ولا الأمن، لأنه مش عارف ايش حاصل، لا جرس صر ولا حد يعني سمع صوت. تمام؟ فالزجاج حق المحلات شيلوا الصور، ما فيش داعي، معروف تجارتنا اي شيء. تمام؟ الحاجة الثانية الكاميرات هي فائدة لكم وضدكم، انتبهوا. انا اديك على البلاطة ما فيش فيها، انا بتقول لكم احنا نعتبر يعني من بلاد واحد وذي يخصكم يخصني انا. تمام؟ ما بدي لك شو معلومات يعني من تبع الدولة ولا ما ادري ايش، انا بحاكم كأنه المحلات يعني تبعنا. الكاميرات تكون مركزات في اماكن يعني تمام، يركز على صورة المجرم. تمام؟ صدق هذا اليوم الماسك هذا اللثمة هذا تلثمنا كلنا، لا اله الا الله، هذا حصل بالتاريخ. اللثمة هذا والماسك خلى الناس الان للجراءة انهم يعملوا الجريمة. تمام؟ فانت اذا شكيت انسان يدخل محلك يعني ولابس الماسك غير طبيعي ولا اي حاجه، امنعه من دخول الدكان. excuse me you can't come my business. ما حدا يقول لك لا، امنعه من دخلة الدكان، قل له انت مش لابس تمام، معلش مرتاح لك، I'm the owner stay outside. وفعلا قال ابو احمد يعني قال لا ما نبي نتصل العسكري الان نقول له call the cops، يقول لك هذا call the cops. فعلا لانه ايش الان شافوا فرص يعملوا هذه الاشياء. تمام؟ لما عندك هذا الجمعيات يعني تنظم يعني حقوق هذه يعني مجلس السلام بلاك لايف ماتر وكذا وكذا، اوكي احنا كنا مع اي انسان ضد العنصريه، لكن هذه ما هذيش عنصريه، هذه الان مصالح بطريقه ثانيه، انه اعمل الجريمه والجمعيه تغطيني، ماش تمام. فالنصيحه لجاليتنا ما نقول شو تعلموا الانجليزي ولا قعدوا دكاتره، تعلموا حقوقكم والقانون، قانون الولايه اللي انتم فيها تعلموها، ايش لكم وش عليكم. تمام؟ لي في البلاد هذه من 73. تمام؟ وماشي مع الجاليه اكثر من 40 سنه، وعلى تحت يعني قال من 10 سنين من 9 سنين من يوم تأسيس الجمعيه اول مره في كوت ستريت، وكانت رجال لا لغه ولا مدارس، لكن ما حد كان يترك الثاني، كان الناس تتعاطف، كان الناس الرحمة موجودة. دحين إذا شوف هذا زي ما قلت اديت لكم على الحياة بحاجة بسيطة يعني. تمام؟ لأن هذا يشتي لها وقت، بس إنه هذه موجودة مع المنظمة أياب. تمام؟ الإنسان ينتبه على تجارة أي واحد يدخل المحل معاه سلاح، لا تقاومش، لأنه نهاية المشوار المجرم نفسه خايف منك، ما هوش انت اللي خايف منه، يعني المجرم نفسه خايف. يعني بالنسبة للتجارة المحرمة معروفة في الدين وعادش في التجارة، ما نذكرهاش، معروف التجارة دي محرمة بالدين لا تبيعوهاش. والله في ناس فتحوا محلات حلال، طالبين الله يعني برزق، سبحان الله. تمام؟ بناس بناس طالبين الله رزق حلال، تمام؟ لكن أي حاجة دي محرمة مفروض ما نحاكى عنها، وإحنا مسلمين متقين الله خايفين ربنا. وإيش الفائدة؟ هذا اللي ندخل في هذا يبيع هذا، لا، هذا أكبر جريمة من كل واحد يتم الثاني في حاجة، لا مش حقنا. أنتم عارفين إن الجالية اليمنية أقدم جالية في وسط نيويورك، وإحنا الجالية دي كانت باقي الجاليات ينظروا لنا للعلم. ايش نسوي وايش نعمل؟ الان بقينا احنا الخلف، وذي غيرنا ما يسوى، يعني الجيل الجديد عدل من امس يعني افضل مننا، ما يصلحش ما يصلحش. احنا القدوه، احنا دي الناس محمد تجاره في وسط نيويورك اكثر من 5000 دكان، من فوق 200,000 نسمه موجودين هنا. لكم كلمتكم غير خيالي. عند هذا عدو مشاه مجلس البلديه، مجلس الشيوخ، مجلس يعني النواب، اذا بالشكوى تلموها مره واحده وارسلتوها. الناس ما بتضارب شهاده بالسيوف ولا بالبنادق، بتضارب بالعلم والقلم والجمع. اذا شافوا انه المجتمع حقنا مجتمع اكثر من 100,000 شخص يوقع في الورقه الفلانيه، ما تغيروا القانون. لا تفكر نفسك انك بسيط، ما تغير القانون، ما حد يزقر من نفسه. لكم كلمتكم في اي مجتمع من جيز المجتمع الاخرين، تمام؟ الشرطه انه مهم جدا علاقه عامه معاهم، خاص مع اصحاب التجاره. تعرف العسكر اللي في الحاره حقكم، تعرف القسم فينه، ما وش تعرف زي ما قال عن الكابتن يحيى، ما وش تعرف اتصل 911 ما حد يجاوبك. 911 ما حد يجاوبك لانهم هم بنفسهم اوكي وكم. يعني ايامنا ايام جولياني فعلا كانوا يتصلوا وقبلنا الصدق. الان ما تلومش العسكري لما يقول لك اوكي لو اصلا المحل الفلاني حق الرجال هذا ويتربط هذا، اتحمل انا انه يوديني في المحكمه شخصيا ياخذ بيتي ورزق جهالي، ما تلومش العسكري، ما حد مصدق. ولكن هذا المرحله وصلنا اليها لان باقي الناس صوتوا وقاموا زي ما انتم تقولوا تصوتوا لحمايتكم ولتجارتكم، ولكن يدا واحده. يعني اذا ما تلموا يعني فرضنا بدكم تغيروا قرار ولا تعملوا اي حاجه، اوكي 50 شخص ما بش فايده، لكن ده معك يعني 1000 شخص مقدم في بيتيشن، يسموها بيتيشن، ورقه باسامي وعلاوي المحلات، وجيتوا عن طريق المنظمه هذا ولا عن طريقكم خاص، لسن هذا مشكلتنا. نهايه المشوار غصبا عنهم بيسمعوه، لكن لا ما بدهم يعني يديورونا وما يشتوا يسمعونا، يقول لك هذا اوكي خلينا نعمل لهم اجتماع اليوم نسال على قلوبهم وذا يا اوكي عادي، عندي 3 4 عسكر هنا ومشت الامور، بس ما نسمعش منهم. لكن المتابعه اهم حاجه. اذا ما تتابع القضايا والمشاكل حق الجاليه حق المحلات ما حد حيسمع، يقول لك نهايه المشوار اوكي عادي. هذا الناس طيبين، ناس مساكين، عرفوا قوانينكم، عرفوا القانون تبع المحلات، ممنوع اي انسان حتى شرطي يدخل قبل كاونتر حق المحل بدون امر قهري ولا بدون اي حاجه، بس احنا من طيبه نفسنا ويلكم، تقول لا ويلكم ما يفرشوك، ماش تمام. ليش؟ لان احنا من طيبه نفسنا، من طيبه نفوسنا، تمام؟ اي بنقول لك يعني منظمه اياب بالصراحه انه لازم نعمل احنا والكابتن يحيى والاداره يعني القوانين حق اصحاب التجاره لك وعليك، تمام؟ ويعملوا هم اجتماع ان شاء الله، وهذا يعني تقع الف باتاتا يعرف الانسان.
والترجمه عربي.
والترجمه عربي طبعا يعني، وزي ما قلت لك مش ضروري. نعم.
اذا الترجمه عربي
ذاتس ات. نعم. ليش؟ لانه لكم كلمتكم في المجتمع هذا يا ناس، كلمتكم كبيره ما هيش كلمه صغيره، لا تفكروا انتم ناس صغار ما كبير الا ربنا، ولكن كلمتكم لها ثقل. وانا بالنسبه لي اي خدمات انا الجماعه يعرفوني كلهم، انا تحت الخدمات مع الجاليه من زمان وسوف نواصل، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياك انت كلمتك الان
وفي الاداره
كلمتك يا هلا طيب واحد اسمع
دقيقة أعرفكم على الإدارة اللي موجودين. أسامة الأخ صادق، عبد الناصر، فندم عبده، فندم عبده، أبو أحمد، صالح. أسامة مخبوء وراء العماد. أسامة هنا معانا الإدارة حق المؤسسة. عبد الناصر ليطل مخابر الإدارة، هذا مهرته، هو بالإدارة لا يغاوطش. علشان هدفنا طلعنا هنا نعرفكم على إدارة المؤسسة. ما شاء الله معنا الأخ وليد، هو شغال مع المؤسسة. الأخ صالح، أبو أحمد معروف مع الجميع، مع يحيى عبيد، أحمد عبد العزيز الترب، الأخ صادق قايد، والفندم عبد الناصر المسمري. يعني احنا قلنا نتبرع من وقتنا خدمة لكم، وعد باقي في الإدارة بس مش موجودين في الوقت الحالي. وشكرا على حضوركم وشكرا على دعمكم. أواقف 4 ناقصين.
اللهم صل.
شكرا لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
تسلموا، تحية.
نعم. ثانك يو سو ماتش. تبعك ولا تبع أسامة؟
والله داري
كنت أنا مش داري انت.
ايوه.
لازم نشجع المسلمين.
الحمد لله الحمد لله، ناس طيبين. يلا يا اخوان خدمات، احسن شيء لحظه، يلا يسعدك.